Level up, level up, level up, level up. Oh, something funny. Oh, something is funny. Oh, believe my money. All over my honey. Hey, fam, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on with my camera? My camera looks like it's my camera looks like it's like acting up or something. Let me put some light on it and see if it looks better. Does it look better? I don't know. I don't trust y'all, so I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna have to check. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Ooh, I tell you what's going on. And I want to thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me see. It says live. There we go. It looks good. There we go. It looks good. There we go. Just a little bit of a delay. Just a little. And it's going round and around and around and around and around now. Okay. So how do I? All right. Now let me sign out of this. Because I need to find, hey, what's going on? How you doing? This is Robert Anton, your singer-songwriter, actor, author, poet, coming to you from my cover channel. And I thank you guys. I thank you so much. 46,000 views. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Y'all are going off. You know what? I appreciate it so much. And this isn't a video I just put up. I put up this video maybe 5 videos ago. So let's say a week ago. And I looked today, or was it yesterday? Maybe it was last night. I looked and I was like, why does, I'm looking, what, how did it, where did that come from? Like 46,000 views, where did that come from? Oh my God, y'all went ham on that video. And I wasn't even doing that. It's the little, the little Latin thing. And I think I saw it on TikTok because someone who looks like Bad Bunny was doing it. So I was like, oh, I like that. It's cute. It's easy. I love to do a little easy dance to music that I really enjoy. So I got up there and did my thing, didn't think anything about it, posted it, went on about my business. 46,000 views. 46, can you believe that? Oh my God. Hi, how you doing? Lillian Sandoval. Yeah, I was like, what's going on over here? What are y'all just going ham over there on these dances? And like, I have pretty recently, like in the last like maybe year and a half, been actually doing dances on this channel. Because this is my cover channel. So I was mostly doing like singing covers, of course, and doing my little captured series where I capture performances around the city or whatever city I'm in. Because I think on here I've got footage from like, I don't know, Peru, from Lima, from Cusco, from all over the place. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Because, people be out there performing on the streets everywhere, all over the world. And it don't just be my folks, it be people from up there, be buskers all over the place. That girl Tones and I, who I loved so much, she was a busker, I think in the UK. Was it the UK? So I be taking videos of people. And I'll never forget, I took a video in the New York, so I've taken a bunch of New York City videos, right? But I took this one video long ago of this big old woman sitting there singing her face off too, let me tell you. And hey, Anonymous Poetry, what's going on? She was singing her face off. So I posted it up. So about 3, 4, 5 years later, it started getting a bunch of views. It started getting a bunch of views. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? I didn't know where the views were coming from or anything. So I come to find out eventually that she was on America's Got Talent. And of course, she made it onto the show. She didn't win, but she made it onto the show and everything like that. And so people were looking for content of her. And one of my videos was one of the, videos of, years before. So when you post up this content, a lot of times, if you keep it up there, if you're not thinking too much about it, you never know when it's going to come back around and get, 10, 15, 20,000 views. And, it's just like, it only got like, I think at first it only might have got like 600, 700. It might not have even got that much up front, right? Maybe not even got that much. Usually my views over here on this channel are between like 1,000, 7,000. You know, I can expect it to be somewhere around there. And I think this video that now has 46,000 probably got about 1,200. You know, and I figured, okay, whatever, you know, that's cool. You know, I'm just getting up doing a little dance, you know. I checked today, 46,000. I said, oh my goodness, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I really, really appreciate it. I was so happy I got up and danced today. I haven't danced in a few days. So I got up and did a dance today, and it's a dance that I really like. And it's really goofy. And I have this whole thing on TikTok, which is the same. I'm under the same name on TikTok as I am here. It's Art Anton. But like I like doing on TikTok, I do a bunch of stuff as I do everywhere. But one of the things, it's like y'all would dance to anything. Like on TikTok, people dance to any kind of sound. It don't matter what it is. It don't matter how silly it is. They will dance. Can I walk? I ain't even gonna lie. No. I be trying. I can make it look like I can moonwalk, but I don't be. I can't really. Something about my feet just don't be going at the right times or something like that. And trust me, I've tried for years. Especially when I was younger, because, you know, I came up during that time. I was a teenager. Was I a preteen when that came out? Oh, I'm aging myself. I might have been a preteen when it came out. But, so, you know, you never know. You post up those videos. If you're thinking about posting, you don't know if you want to, and you're worried about views and stuff like that, get on there and have a good time. I got to put in my light real quick. My light already looked like it's about to die, and it's been about 5 minutes, and it's been 7 minutes exactly, and it looked like it's about to die already. This pole light has been, I mean, I have gotten my money's worth out of this piece here. I really have. Where's the hole? Guys, you know what I'm talking about. Where's the hole? Where is the hole? Okay, so now we back. We back in. Now you can see it in my glasses, right? Let me take these off. I gotta keep them on. You know why? Because I can't see the chat if I don't have them off. So yeah, so like I be doing like these dances, but people on TikTok will dance to just about anything, and I don't want to do every dance. When I see a dance that I like, it's because I like the movements. And I like the music behind it. Like the music really makes me want to get up and move. So I'll save it. And then whenever I feel like jumping up and doing some dances and stuff like that, I usually learn one or two dances. And I have several like takes. And I'll save them. I might post the best one first. And then I'll post other ones later on. This one I have 3 takes. So I posted one. I said I wasn't going to post these dance videos on my iPad anymore. But the last one that I did was on my iPad, and it came out the best, naturally. So I went ahead and I posted that one. But I do have 2 that I posted on my DSLR camera, my professional camera. And they looked okay. You know, they just didn't come out as good as the one on my iPad. So I posted that one. And I'll probably post that over here in a day or 2. I like to leave just a little bit of lag. Some things I'll post everywhere on the same day. Some things I won't post. I'll only post on certain sites. And some things I know that I'm going to like stagger it. So I'll give one like 2 days to work on one site, and then I'll put it up on another site, and then I might put it up on another site, depending on how it's doing and how it's resonating with people and how much I care about it. Because a lot of times when you do a whole bunch of videos, like I do a bunch, probably too much, but you know what? I enjoy it. So sometimes, you know, you have ones that you care more about and do what you would like to see do very well. And then you have others where you're like, oh, I'm just posting this to have some fun. You know what I'm saying? And it's usually the ones that you're posting just to have some fun that end up blowing up, or, you know, getting more views than the one where you're like, oh, I put all this work into this and I did. It's so frustrating, or it can be frustrating. But the point is just to keep posting, just to keep putting yourself out there, to keep doing it, because, you know, if you're a creative person, a big part of the enjoyment is actually creating it and watching it back and seeing like, oh, I did really good on that. Oh, that looked really good. Oh my God, I felt good. You know, and then when you watch it, a week later, a month later, a year later, you're like, all right, okay, you did that, you know, you could be proud of yourself. I actually just reposted a video from 2023 of a dance. And like I said, I try to pick the easier dances, you know, the ones that it just takes a few 10, 15 minutes at the most to learn. And then I'll do it. You know, of course I have to be having fun. I'm not doing something that's just so difficult or whatever. I'm not enjoying myself. But, you know, I try to do the easier ones. And then I post those up. But this one was kind of hard. When I looked back, it just kept going and going and going. And I'm like, when did I do all of this? You know what I'm saying? I know I did, but like, I'm like, when I did all of that, like I usually would not be picking videos that are like 12 seconds, 15 seconds long, you know, especially dance moves, because you got to remember in order how everything goes. And I'm pretty good at learning choreography because I took dance in high school and college. But I've never been great at it because it was never my focus. You know, when I came to New York, I was a singer actor who moves well. That's what we used to call it. So I would move well. But I did go into like a lot of dance calls, and some of them I got a call back too. I remember Damn Yankees, which I did not get a call back. I went to the Alice, which I actually left, and they still came out and said, oh, stay and sing for us. You were doing wonderful. Stay and sing for us. I got to sing for Maurice Hines. He loved me. He predicted that I was going to be doing Smokey Joe's Cafe, and I did end up booking it. Actually, I got offered the national tour here. I got offered the national tour here in the United States, but I turned that down because I was union. And then eventually they offered me the international tour, and I got to do that because it was out of union jurisdiction. What else the dance calls did I do? I did a dance call. I forget the name of it. It was a tap show, and I don't really tap. I did a dance show. I did a dance call for a Chorus Line. That's another one that I walked out of. There have only been 2 auditions that I've walked out of, and that was a Chorus Line and Alice. Because those dances were so hard, and I was trying my best. But literally, like in Alice, there were so many spins and turns, and they were so quick, I started getting dizzy. I was like, no thank you. Thank you very much. Took my stuff and walked. And producer came out and said, why you leave? You're doing great. I'm like, I'm not that type of dancer. You know, I can move some, but I'm not like a big dancer. He's like, you know what, just stay and sing for us. And there were only like, I think 3 of us in the dance call. So I guess they wanted to see everybody that was interested, you know, because most people want to go to the singer call because it's like, listen, but I think you had to do a lot of dancing in that show. And then when I walked out of a Chorus Line, you know, they thanked me or whatever, and I went about my business because there was a lot of people. But the problem with a Chorus Line audition is they do that one dance, da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na, da-na-na, and everybody knows it. If they have not done the show before, they've learned it. You know, in dance class in New York City, you know, Broadway dance or whatever, steps and all this good stuff. They teach a lot of these dances that are going to be the audition dancers for certain big shows. So literally when he was doing the dance, he wasn't really teaching the choreography. He was just saying, oh, when you do it here, your hands are going to be here instead of there. You know, and the original is this, but we're going to do, you throw your hands up. Yeah, I was like, okay, well, listen, you ain't teaching choreography. Let me get my bag. Thank you very much. And went about my business, you know, because I know that I didn't know the choreography, and I was not going to be able to pick it up by watching everybody else. And I'd already pretty much made a fool of myself. But they didn't have a singer call, so of course I wanted to go to the dance call. And sometimes in New York, it's about getting in front of casting directors more than booking the job. Because a lot of times you can get in front of a casting director and do terrible on what they're casting. And they still might remember you when something come up and they think of you. They're like, you know, call him in. And I literally have gotten called in for so many Broadway shows. Civil War, Ragtime, Rent, and, you know, other shows that I haven't done theater in like 20 years. But shows that I remember that, like, when I got an agent and stuff like that, I was called in for things because it was like, was Robert interested in doing so and so and so? The only problem was they kept calling me in for these songs that were really wrong for my voice, or these parts that were wrong for my voice. And at the time, I was like 24 25, 26, 27, and I probably looked like 19. I read 19 on stage. So they wasn't paying me too much attention, but they were keeping me in mind. And I always remember the stories of some of people who like eventually blew up for certain roles and stuff like that. And the casting directors had been calling them back for years, sometimes for a decade before they cast them in a certain role because they were watching their growth. They were watching their persistence. They were watching, what they were doing, what shows they were booking, how well they were doing in those shows, all that different stuff to see, what if they would be able to eventually handle the role. And they were waiting for them to be like, I think they're ready. And then once they hit it, bam, they really took off in that role. So I thought about that when I was young, and I just went and did my best in the auditions. I sang for Cole House. I see his face. I hear his heartbeat. I look in those eyes. How wise they seem. Well, when he's old enough. I know, I remember that. I remember those songs, okay? Because a lot of them were just heartbreaking or beautiful. Some were difficult to learn, but I did my thing when I went in and sang for these shows. And they called me back and called me back and called me back. And I'd be like, are they ever gonna cast me? But I think they were just watching my, progression and seeing where I was. Now I left when I was like, I stopped doing theater when I was like maybe 31, 32. Because I had already gotten into doing what I do now for the last 25 or more years. It's been more like 28, 29 years now. I got into doing wedding singing or corporate singing, which I always wanted to be just a stand-up singer. I wanted to write my own material, record my own stuff, and sing out. So it had everything that I needed. It had good pay, almost as good as Broadway pay, without the benefits, without the extra benefits. But you were only doing, like while they're doing 8 shows a week, you're doing 1 for that pay. And sometimes 2. But if you do 2, you're making probably more than they're making just for 2 performances that week while they're doing 8. Okay? So it was a good trade-off. And I loved I like what I do. I really do. Sometimes I miss the camaraderie of being full cast, people, learning a show together, working out all the little intricacies of a development of characters and the dances and all these things. I kind of miss those sometimes, but because I do a lot of the stuff that I rehearse, they give me the songs, I rehearse them here at home. I'll be lucky if we sing through them once before we do them for the show. I'll be lucky. And because they generally only do that if it's an important song, if it's like the first dance for the couple, if it's a father-daughter, mother-son. They don't usually do the cake cutting. Sometimes if it's a final song, but like you don't rehearse a lot of stuff. If it's a special tribute or something like that, they might have you rehearse it, just like literally just before you go on, just before the gig starts, you might go through 1 or 2 songs or something like that. But you don't get to do a lot of rehearsal. Everybody knows their part. You come in and you hit it. They call it a hit. You come in and hit, and that's it. You go about your business. But I enjoyed that so much. And sometimes it's kind of high stress, but when you're really prepared and everything like that, it's a lot less stress. It's just like, okay, I gotta remember to do this. I gotta remember to do that. I'm listening for this, that, and the other. And you go in and do your thing. And then even if you make mistakes, once it's over and you go about your business. Everybody makes a mistake or 2 or 3 doing a gig, a live gig. That's why it's live performance, because this stuff happens, Sometimes the band is in one place and you're in another place. Yeah, okay. But that's why I stopped doing theater. I think the last show I did was Smokey Joe's Cafe. I played Adrian at the Derby Dinner Theater in Clarksville, Ohio. And I don't know why they cast me in that role. Lord Jesus, I lost my voice during opening week. But the good thing is after that opening week, my voice was fine. I got through the whole rest of the run with no problems, with no vocal problems. Everything was fine. She got me standing on the corner, a yellow ribbon in her hair. He did a lot of, he did, what did Adrian did? He did that song. He did Little Egypt, which I cannot remember. He did, what were his songs? Of course, he did Stand By Me, the final song of the night. When the night has come and the land is dark. And he did, I don't remember all the songs that he did. He did a lot of songs. My favorite part was Ken. And when I did it on international tour, I swung Ken and Fred. I never got to go on as Fred, but I went on as Ken for like 3 weeks. So it was amazing. From Cologne, Germany to Hamburg, Germany, I did all the performances. And then we went to Switzerland, I think it was, and the guy took back over. But that's because one, he was sick, and then he went away to do a wedding or something like that, or to be in a wedding, I suppose. Anyway, I don't remember. But yeah, it's been so exciting. And I try to share some of that here on YouTube and on my social media sites and stuff like that now and then when I feel like talking about it. But I just wanted to come on and say thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. My heart is true, you're a friend, pal and a confidant. I'd like to thank you so much. Just once again, 46,000 views on that video. I forget the name of the darn video. But it's my bailando, my dancing video. I really appreciate it. I'm about to sign out. Peace. Love you. Keep watching the videos. Please keep supporting. Check out my other channels also, Robert Anton NYC and Robert Anton Vlogs. I'm out. Peace. Now, how do you cut this thing off? Enjoy the rest of your